For 3 weeks, my wife didn't speak to me. Not a single word. Not good morning. Not, did you eat? Not even anger. Just silence. The kind of silence that eats at you slowly, day by day, until you start questioning your own existence inside your own home. It started after a small argument. At least I thought it was small. I asked her why she'd been coming home late again. I didn't accuse. I didn't raise my voice. I just asked. She stared at me with cold eyes and said, "I don't have the energy for this," then walked into the bedroom and shut the door. That was the last sentence she spoke to me for weeks. From that night on, she treated me like furniture, like a wall, like something that existed only to pay bills and take up space. I'd come home from work and she'd already eaten, plates washed, phone in hand, laughing softly at messages that clearly weren't mine. If I spoke, she didn't respond. If I asked a question, she'd turn up the TV. If I stood in front of her, she'd walk around me. At first, I tried to fix it. I apologized, even though I wasn't sure what for. I brought flowers, she left them untouched. I cooked dinner, she ordered food and ate alone in the bedroom. After the first week, confusion turned into pain. By the second week, pain turned into humiliation. I slept on the edge of the bed while she faced the wall, phone glowing under the blanket long after midnight. Sometimes I'd hear her typing, pausing, smiling. One night I quietly asked, "Are you talking to someone?" She didn't even look at me. "Stop interrogating me," she said flatly. Then silence again. That was when I stopped trying. I stopped asking. Stopped apologizing. Stopped chasing someone who clearly didn't want to be caught. I started waking up earlier, going for walks, letting the quiet settle instead of fighting it. And that's when I noticed something important. She was silent with me, but very alive everywhere else. She took extra time getting dressed, changed perfumes, guarded her phone like it was a secret vault. She'd step outside to take calls, pacing the driveway with a smile I hadn't seen in years. One night she came home late and smelled like a man's cologne. Not mine. I hadn't worn cologne in months. Still, I said nothing. Silence had become our language. Then came the morning that changed everything. It was a Sunday. The house was quiet, no alarms, no rushing. I woke up early and went to the kitchen to make coffee. As I poured it, I noticed her phone on the counter, plugged in, vibrating softly. A message popped up. I didn't plan to look. I truly didn't. But the screen lit up with words I couldn't unsee. "Last night was perfect. I wish you were waking up next to me." My hands started shaking. Another message followed. "He still doesn't know, right?" My wife walked into the kitchen at that exact moment. She froze when she saw me holding her phone. For the first time in weeks, she spoke. "What are you doing?" she snapped, panic leaking into her voice. I looked at her calmly. Too calmly. "So this is why," I said quietly. "This is why you couldn't look at me. Speak to me. Touch me." She tried to grab the phone. I stepped back. "It's not what you think," she said quickly. The most cliché lie in history. I unlocked the phone. Weeks of messages, inside jokes, photos, plans. And there it was, the final knife twist. A message she had sent him 2 weeks earlier. "I haven't slept with my husband in months. He's basically a roommate." I felt something inside me go numb. "You punished me with silence," I said slowly, "while you gave him everything." She crossed her arms, defensive now. "You weren't there for me emotionally." I laughed, once. Bitter. Hollow. "I tried to talk," I said. "You chose silence. You chose to disappear while still living in my house." She finally broke down crying. Said it just happened. Said she felt lonely. Said she didn't mean for it to go this far. I nodded. "I believe you," I said. Her head snapped up. "You do?" I believe you didn't plan it, I continued. But you chose it. Every day, every message, every lie. I placed the phone back on the counter. Then I said the words she never expected. I'm done. She panicked. Wait, can't we talk? I'll block him. I'll fix this. I shook my head. You had weeks to talk. You chose silence. Now I'm choosing peace. That afternoon, I packed a bag. She followed me around the house, crying, apologizing, begging me not to leave, telling me I was overreacting, telling me I was her husband. I stopped at the door and looked at her one last time. You stopped being my wife the moment you decided I wasn't worth speaking to, I said. The cheating hurt, but the silence? That's what killed us. I walked out. Weeks later, I heard she tried to make it work with him. It didn't last. She texted me once, months later. I didn't realize what I was throwing away. I didn't reply, because sometimes betrayal isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet, cold, silent. And when someone chooses silence over respect, the strongest answer is finally speaking for yourself, by walking away.